So for today's meetup, we have special guests here from Famous. So Miguel and the team will be presenting not only an overview of the product itself, but doing a demo, which I know people appreciate. And they are hitting a certain milestone that is a free open beta. So when you like what you see tonight, make sure you go to their site and download it and try it out.
Like how percentage is always like, you like what you see?
When you like what you see, are leaning on. And yeah, I guess Miguel will take it from here.
Cool. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah. First of all, thank you so much for coming, and thank you, Beer UX, for having us. I actually was here about, what, 2 months ago? Yeah, 2 months ago, and I saw an amazing presentation done by, where is she? I saw her earlier.
Bianca?
Yeah, Bianca.
Yeah.
She's somewhere around here, but she gave an amazing presentation, and I've been in touch with the guys over at Neuron since then, and we're really excited to be here. So Famous is an amazing application to help people bring more beauty to the digital world. And I think the best way to do these things always is just show the product and don't really talk about it. So I'm gonna introduce you to 2 people. This is Sarah. She's with our product team as a product manager, and this is Mike, our head of design. And they're actually going to run you through a demo. We have to be back there to be able to touch and drive the demo, but if you guys have questions, feel free to stop us at any time, and we'll slow down or go through something that you really liked or had a question about, and just direct questions to me, and we'll try to figure it out. Does that work for everyone?
Yeah.
Sweet. Choo!
Are we on? All right, we're on.
We're on.
All right, so I'm Sarah, product manager at Famous, and today I am going to just walk you through the Famous tool. And what I'm going to do is actually build an app right on your phone without you guys downloading anything. And that way you guys can see the full power of Famous and actually check it out live while I'm designing it. So I'm going to hand my money.
So she doesn't have to do this with one hand. I'm gonna hold the mic for her.
And also, by the way, I just saw another face in the crowd. Ryan, one of our engineers. Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, cool. So this is the Famous interface. It should look very familiar if you've used any other design tool like Sketch or Figma. It's a pretty standard layout where you will have your screen layer list on the left and then your inspector on the right. So if I'm a designer and right now, imagine I am doing a lot of my design in Sketch, what Famous allows you to do is import that Sketch file and bring it to life. You can also create directly in Famous, and we also have a template gallery that allows you to start from a template and just swap out content or do any other changes to that particular design that you'd like to do. Today I'm going to walk you through creating a design from importing a Sketch file. And if there's time, I'll walk you through creating a design from a template. And in the Create from Sketch process, I'll also show you some of the capabilities of designing directly in Famous.
Sarah, can you flip, can everyone see this, or do you guys want to change into our light mode?
Would that be easier?
It might be. Let's check it out.
Bam.
Is
Is that
that
easier,
better?
more contrast for everyone? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I think we're gonna some head nods, so let's go with that.
Yeah, nice. So we'll rock the lighter with that. Cool. So I'm gonna import, and here's my Sketch file. It's super easy. Literally just selecting the file you want to import, and we're gonna bring it right on in. It's kind of a big file. Give it a second. Awesome. All right, so here it is. I brought my file in, and if I open up that Sketch file, what we would see is a complete one-to-one match with what is in Famous and what's in Sketch. I mean, pixel perfect, everything to a T. You'll also notice that my Sketch file has different pages for designs for different device types. And we enable you to pull in different pages, 3 different pages for mobile, tablet, and desktop, because we understand there may be instances where you would like to have different content displayed for the different devices. So that's kind of cool. I'm gonna close out Sketch now and let's focus directly into Famous. So right now, there's our mobile, here's our tablet, here's our desktop, but we're gonna focus on mobile for this demo. And before I even do anything, what I can do is open up this preview window. And this preview window here is essentially a live preview of my design. Any changes that we make are gonna be reflected directly in this window. And you can already see, I mean, we already have transitions kind of applied. So what's going on here is that we kind of smartly recognize what the designer's intention is in terms of the navigational flow based on the layout of the sketch file. What's even cooler, or what I think is cooler, you guys might not think so, but you can actually grab this, this design right on your phone and follow along as I'm making changes. So if you want to scan that QR code.
Yeah, I highly recommend everyone getting this on their phone because this is going to be like the thing that kind of blows your mind.
Yeah, so the real cool thing here is that once you have it on your phone, you can kind of see and feel what your design is going to look like on a mobile device.
Let's wait and make sure. You guys can feel free to jump up and just grab it. Yeah, don't be shy. This is, for this whole demo, you're going to want to do this.
Just on your camera.
Yeah, you can open your camera, and most phones are smartphones, and we will have that pulled up.
It'll pop up in the top bar.
Yeah, I'll pop on the top bar, just click, and then you'll see that start screen. And as we build this app and Sarah makes changes to all types of different things, you'll see it actually propagate inside of that browser.
And just by show of hands, while everyone's grabbing that, how many people use Sketch or like Sketch users when they're designing? Awesome. How about XD? Photoshop? Who's like Photoshop? Okay. All right. That's not all right. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, our intention is really to enable you to do all of your design within Famous eventually, but we're a pretty new product, so we're still getting to parity with all those create edit features that Sketch offers. In the meantime, we still enable you to import. So first thing I want to do is, you know, this looks pretty cool, but it's kind of flat, kind of boring. So what I want to do is pull in some videos into my design. It's super simple. It's simply right click, replace with, and that's going to select the video I want to replace that image with. And then if you check out your phones, you should see that happening right on your devices. And also, you know, in the actual canvas area itself, we, like if you hover over it, the video will play, but in order to improve performance, we essentially don't play the video when you're not hovering. So let's throw a couple.
It's also great that the video actually pauses when you're off of it in the canvas because you guys probably know when you have a ton of videos playing, it's a little distracting as you're designing. So it's nice that we actually do that as well, I feel like.
Yeah, so you can either pull in a video directly from your local machine, or if there is a YouTube video you want to pull in, you can definitely do that. If you notice here in my my contextual menu, I do have an option to replace with a YouTube video, which is awesome. Just throw that link in there and it will display. So if everyone's seeing that, next what I'm going to do is have a little fun with transition animation. So this is really where Famous shines, is in our animation capabilities. And right now, you can see we're using kind of this like swing in or hinge style animation for the screen transitions, but I want to make it a little bit more elegant and subtle. And what I'm going to do is select all of these, you know, all of the like first 5 cards here, and move over to my interaction tab. And then swipe left, we've already kind of, you know, detected that these cards have this common swipe left navigational structure. So we're going to change the transition type from circle in and do a reveal. And I'm going to change out that curve just to make it feel a bit more elegant. Do this out point and then place, let's do an 800 millisecond delay and see what that gives us. So yeah, that just feels so much more elegant to me personally. Next, what we'll need to do is do our swipe right navigation and change that out to the reveal. Select my cards here that I'll share that swipe right. Cool, all right, already auto expanded, which is nice. We're gonna change that over to reveal. We're gonna apply that out point curve and we're gonna throw in that 800 millisecond duration. Let's see how that feels. Cool, yeah, that just feels so much nicer, I think. Right on, cool. So let's play around with actual like animating specific elements within the design. This is really where you can, you know, this is like really how you can tweak your design, give it specific personality and feel. So what I'm going to do, look at the map screen right here, and what I want to try to do is have these different nodes kind of come in at different times or have kind of a staggered build-in animation. I swipe this card, you should kind of stagger it. And I can do that by selecting all of these layers that I want to apply the animation to, come over to my animation tab, and we use this notion of a build-in and a build-out animation. So built-in animations are how you want the elements to appear on the screen. And the build-out is how you want those animates to animate off of the screen. What I'm going to do here is apply a built-in animation of the, let's see, what was it? It was the slide in, I think I wanted to. And I want these to slide in from right to left. Cool. And then if you check right now, they're all kind of coming in at the same time. But we can add another layer of, I always like to use the word elegance, but it added just another layer of complexity by adding some offsets to each of these. So what I'm going to do is select the first node, and I'm going to come back over to my animation tab, and I'm going to apply a starting adjustment. And the starting adjustment is going to be on this X position. I'm going to make it a negative, I don't know, maybe negative 50-ish. And then I'm going to come to my second node. Well, let's just leave that as is. And then come down to my final node and make a starting adjustment of a plus 15%. Let's try that and see what that gives us. If I swipe in, they should all be coming in at slightly different speeds. A little hard to see, but you can play around with it and dial it in. And then maybe I make that one a little less, make this one a little more.
You can also blow them out super far and see the difference.
Yeah. So if I come in kind of slow, let it settle first. Come in kind of slowly. You kind of see them staggered in. Kind of a subtle effect, but it does actually provide a nice, just a different way to stagger the animation to draw attention if you do the first, second, and third. Yeah, so there's your animations. The cool thing with Famous is that we do have a number of predefined animations out of the box, but you can also do a lot of customization with either starting adjustments, the direction in which the animation builds in and builds out, as well as whether or not it's a position or time-based animation. So a lot of fun stuff to play with there. Next, so one of my favorite pieces about Famous is the fact that you can enable e-commerce in it, which is pretty cool. So imagine I'm creating this app and maybe I am the North Coast Surf Company and I want to actually sell these boards. We integrated with Stripe such that you can basically create a checkout flow directly in your Famous application simply by inserting your Stripe API key. So imagine I want to sell maybe this gunner board, and I click on this, technically this buy now CTA. If I want to initiate a checkout flow from this particular button or link, I simply select it, come over to my link tab, and then at the bottom of our link tab, you see this Stripe checkout. I'm going to click that, and in our right inspector, all of our fields for defining the properties required in order to invoke one of those Stripe checkout modules is available. So I'm just going to put in my Stripe API key, which I'll need to grab from my notes. Image link, I don't really have that one, so we'll leave it blank. North Coast is my company name. What is it? This is the Gunner board, and it's $7.99. And let's just check all of these. So now, if I navigate over to my Gunner screen, I can select that, and I get my checkout flow. One thing that I noticed I forgot to do, and I'll walk through this right now, is apply a up-down transition. So we got our left-rights in, but I totally spaced on adding the up-down.
If anybody noticed, that was a scroll card. She did that pretty quickly.
Oh yes, the good old scroll card. So one of the cool things about Famous is that we we offer an option to make a card a scroll card if content goes below the fold, right? So if we come over here, over to this screen, and I go to my settings, you'll see that I have this allow scrolling box checked. And this is basically telling Famous, yes, allow scrolling, make this card a scrolling card so that users can scroll up and down and then swipe back up to the parent card here, this location. There's a number of other options that are also surfaced that you can play around with to make a more customized experience. But by default, we try to detect whether or not this card is going to be than if it is longer than the viewport on import, we will automatically check that scrolling box for you. If you don't want it to be scrolling, you can just check the box. We try to do a lot of the heavy lifting smartly, so you don't have to spend time making those decisions during the design process. I was going to apply my adjustments. Just grab these guys. So again, super easy. Randomize swipe up, we're going to do our reveal, and our curve, and our duration. So really, our goal is to make this so easy that anybody who's ever used Keynote can use this. We took a lot of inspiration from Keynote in terms of how they apply their transitions from card to card, and wanted to embody that spirit of ease of use with how you apply transitions in Famous.
I see some people swiping in their phone. You guys all seeing the
You
same thing
guys
that
seeing
she's
the
building?
reveals for these?
Not with the third one.
Not on the third one yet? Okay, let's see. Let's check out location 3. All right, let's try this bottom. Let's try the bottom row. Grab these guys. Got our
Big
review.
river.
800. All right, let's try this. All right, we got our reveal working there. Oh, that's all right. Whoop. Coming through on this version, on my local live preview. What about in your mobile live
That
preview?
screen right there.
Yeah, that one's not a movie, it's still a photo.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
the big river, it's still an image, not a video.
So you're not getting the big river. Well, that's unfortunate.
It is, because there's a beautiful looking.
Did you got the other two though? Did you get the other two videos, or is that just the one?
It's just an image.
But when you
The
swipe
first
past,
one is there.
yeah.
Yeah, that one works, the other videos work.
Interesting. All right, let me check my trends.
But it shows a different picture. Oh.
Well then, let's check this out. This is some great QA we have going on right here. Yeah, your video didn't load. Interesting. Let's try this. Let's try this refresh here. Oh,
You
interesting.
won't get to next.
Oh, are you gonna look PowerPoint maybe? It's only that one screen. Yeah, something funky's going on with that one screen. Very interesting. Well, thank you for surfacing this. We will absolutely take a look at that. Well, this is called the Famous Project.
I want to see Big River, but I can't see Big River.
I want my money back.
Yeah, I bought the board, but it's not there.
Yeah. Well, let me try a different video. Maybe let's try this guy.
Yeah, it's moving.
That's what we do for everyone?
That one works?
But
Oh, it didn't work.
maybe it's just an asset.
Yeah, it could be the asset.
Oh, yeah, now it works.
Yeah, it must be the asset.
Interesting. All right, maybe we swapped it out again. Let's see. Let's just redo, rewind, try location 1 again.
It's working now.
It's working now.
Oh, now it's working.
Just need a little controlling.
You
Okay.
know, the kids say sometimes it be like that.
Do that. All right, cool.
Do you mind explaining what you did in case we have the same problems? when we go
So I just, sometimes you don't know exactly what the problem is, right? And so you have to experiment. What we did is we simply replaced the original video with a different video.
Right.
We allowed that to load on everybody's devices, and then once that was loaded and we weren't experiencing the problem anymore, we went ahead and just then replaced that replacement video with the original video.
Right, thank you.
Yeah, so yeah, it could be a timeout issue or something like, I don't know, some other kind of,
The internet.
I don't know.
Looks like we have our first question coming from
Yeah.
David.
Does it help if I hit the refresh?
Sometimes,
I was hitting the refresh.
Yeah, I
It's
mean-
supposed to-
yeah, it seems like that was just a weird instance. Normally refresh kind of helps every once in a while.
On that
Yeah.
question, so the changes happen automatically, I don't have to keep reloading.
Yeah, the changes happen, or should happen
Oh,
automatically.
I
most
kept
of the time.
reloading every time you guys were
Yeah,
changing.
no, you don't have to do that. That's like one of the amazing parts is like, as she's building, you're literally in here and it's changing.
Whatever's going on.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to try to keep you in flow as much as possible. And so by doing the live updates and not requiring a refresh or a rebuild when we do a change or an update to content, it really reduces the cognitive friction. So the whole point is try to keep you in flow, keep you in like your like design mindset without these, death by 1,000 little like context switches. All right, cool. So I'm glad this is up and running on everyone's phone again. Next, what I want to show you is another cool way to bring content into your design. So obviously, this is a web-based product, and one of, iframes are pretty important. So we have a way that you can add an iframe to your design. What I'm going to do is imagine that I wanted to be able to tap one of these locations and invoke a real Google map, right? Like show how to get there and show, what this place actually looks like. So first what I want to do is add a screen, and when I click this add, you'll see all of the different types of content that you can add into your design. Everything from images, we'll be releasing shapes, hopefully next week, as well as screens. So I'm going to add my screen, and then just like Sketch, we just automatically add it to the end of your flow here. But I want to bring it down here because I do want it to be related to my map card. So it's a little bland. I think what I want to do is add a background on there first. I'm just going to snag it from my map card, copy that, paste it on the screen one. And then for some reason, this is like a weird bug we're working out. It always pastes them in the reverse order. But just like in Sketch or other design tools, you can just drag those layers to reorder them. So here I am, I'm on my screen one, and I want to add an iframe. So again, I come up to my add button, and all I'm going to do is select that iframe option, and I literally just draw the container for my iframe right on my screen. So next, what I do is I want to have that screen selected, and then I come up to my layer tab. And the layer tab is where you define all of your properties for that specific layer. This is alignment properties. These are responsive properties. These are your scale properties, position size. These should all be very familiar. But what is unique to this iframe component is that we have this iframe URL. So imagine I go to, let's see, I need to grab this. Actually, I think I have it already in my notes. Let's try this guy, I think. Oh, it's the wrong one. Give me a second. Let me grab the right one. Let's see.
That's a little animation right there. Wow.
Go to this guy, and then I go to,
That's in your top left, actually. Oh, no. Well, wait, no, no.
and then I'm just gonna grab the actual URL. I'm not gonna grab the whole thing. It's always a little tricky. Get the right part in there. There we go. Oh, nope, just kidding.
So,
I got this.
Why is it going so long?
Oh,
So I knew this was gonna happen.
just copy it and then cut it out later.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this, because, that's how I do. Now, it's much easier. Let's pull this guy right in here, and hopefully we got it right. Cha-ching, sweet, there it is. All right, cool. So I have my screen with my iframed Google Map in there, but I need to create a way to actually navigate there. So that's super easy. All I'm going to do is come up here to my Dillon Beach location, click on that, and come over to my link tab, and then I'm going to select my target. My target is going to be screen 1. Cool. And then instead of circling, let's drop the 3D cube, and then it's going to be coming from the down position. So now if you guys navigate over, you can click Dillon Beach, and it will bring you right to the iframed map. Now I need to create a way to get back up to my map.
And in that iframe, you can actually interact with that map. That's correct, right, Sarah?
Oh yeah, this is a completely, larger map. Oh, I need to do it from here. And invoke the full map, and there's options for the iframe settings. So if you wanted to allow it to go full screen, you can also deactivate it when you're transitioning to avoid any false touches or false activating or invoking an action that you don't intend to happen, which is that one. But if you click that, then of course, you can't actually click or interact with it. So yeah, this is super cool and helpful for any kind of iframe activity you want to do, and super fun for throwing in Spotify playlists or whatever, everything you want to iframe in. Oh, I was gonna put a transition back up to our main screen. So I'm just gonna snag this UI element here. I'm gonna just copy it and paste it, and then come back over here, and then I'm gonna center that. And then I'm gonna have that layer selected, and then link that back up to my map.
You copy and paste at our board, does it retain?
It sure does, yeah. It'll retain all your properties. So you can copy and paste artboards, copy and paste individual layers.
And the animations, right, with those things?
I'm not sure if the animations come through. They might. I think they do. The micro animation should, but the
Yeah,
screen
they
to
do.
screens you'll need to set.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, cool. I think we rocked the 3D cube here, and it was going up this time. So now, if we check it all out, we should be able to click on Dillon Beach, have that take us to our iframed-in Google Map, and play around with that if we want to. When we're done and we want to go back up to our previous screen, we simply click that button.
Click what?
So far, so good? Yeah? Cool, cool.
Click what button?
There's a top button arrow that you put in, that UI element, so you can just click that top bar.
Yeah, and I just I literally just copied it from here. So it's cool. It's you can easily reuse existing elements and keep consistency through your design that way. All right, I mean, obviously you can also do stuff like edit the text right in here, whatever you want to do, instead of gunner, maybe it's gunner, I don't know. You can move the stuff around, anything you would be able to do in a normal tool, right? Move stuff around, all the usual suspects, which is really fun, and makes it so much easier when it's familiar.
Show them the magic.
Show
them the magic.
what magic, Miguel, are you talking about?
Publish.
Oh, that's what I was getting at.
I know you were. I was excited.
Cool. All right, so let me just save this file. North Coast V1. All right, so once I have my file saved, so we can actually push this to a live URL, which is pretty rad. And it is a great way to go literally from a design or an idea to a real live REST web app. So super easy. Once I've saved, all I do is hit this button. Very easy. And then I just name my project. Let's call this North Coast V1. I'm going to give it a title, and then we can define a URL slug. So whatever you want that URL slug to be, you just type it on in. If that URL slug has been taken, you'll be notified of that, and you just pick a different one. So if I choose North Coast, I think that one's already taken. It tells me so. But if I do North Coast V1, 12. No? Okay, let's see. North Coast. Let's try that one. No dice. North Coast V2.
Try West Coast.
Okay. Oh, I don't know.
People are
There's
taking this.
something weird's going on.
Let's try to look at this.
I don't know what's happening, guys. This is another weird thing.
Try canceling out and redoing it.
Oh, weird. Now it's there automatically. This is a new issue. We're finding all the issues tonight. Weird. Well, this is unfortunate because I really wanted to show you guys.
Go to your cloud and just show them a published project then.
Yeah, so essentially
Yeah.
what you would be able to do is hit publish, define the title and a URL slug. And, this invalid name should not be appearing
And the people
everywhere.
over at Neuron know how well this works because we've been editing stuff throughout our whole entire conversation, right? Today we did what, 2 or 3 of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, but hey, you know what? Glad we're finding them now before we actually go to view one. So anyway, once you publish, it would show up in this interface. This interface we consider this is where you manage all of your live apps. You can publish them, unpublish them. You can add different app settings, different metadata, and of course you can see some analytics. So very similar setup to the create and edit area we were just in, where I have my file list this time on the left-hand side. And then when I click into a specific file, the timeout issue is happening again. This is a known problem where Studio will time out occasionally, but if I quit and reopen, it should not happen anymore. Thank you for your patience.
You're doing great. You're firing through stuff. You covered transitions, micro animations, adding iframes, adding a Stripe component. Have you used code yet?
Nope, never. Not once. Not once. All right, cool. So let's actually try to, I really want to get North Coast in there. So let's just open that famous file that I just saved. Sweet. All right, here's our file. There's our videos. Everything is the same as we left it, which is cool. Let's try publishing this time. Maybe we'll get lucky. Yeah. Let's copy that over. All right, I think we're gonna be successful this time. Here we are.
Magic of quitting out. and
Yeah,
starting
yeah,
again.
yeah, we've been running into this weird timeout issue where
What about paying for, did you pay for a website, or how does that work with publishing it into a website?
So right now, everything is going to be posted on the themes domain. We are enabling you by V1, which is scheduled for October. You will be able to post it on your own domain. And the way that kind of the payment works is that you're going to be allotted a specific amount of bandwidth and storage. And so depending on the tier you sign up for, you would get, N amount of bandwidth and storage. You could upgrade that a la carte if you'd like to. We're still really working out the details of how all of those, all the pricing is going to work, but that's going to be the model. Yeah. Cool. All right, so success, we did it. We published over, we've come over to our cloud environment. You can see I have my North Coast folder here, and the kind of entry you see right here is the version. So we do offer version control, which is pretty cool. So if you go back to your file in the create edit area and you make some changes and you republish it, what we'll do is create a new version of that. And it will automatically publish the new version and unpublish the old version, which is pretty cool. We always retain your versions. It's not destructive. So if you ever need to revert back quickly, it's literally as simple as flicking a switch. Let's see if I have one that has multiple versions. I can just show you what that looks like. I don't know if I do in here. But you would literally just flick this little toggle and it would unpublish your project URL, which is right here. We also issue a new QR code, so you can actually grab the published version on your phone or share it out with anybody who might be interested in looking at it. And we also offer live analytics. So in the next couple months, we're going to be swapping out this interface for something a little bit different. Sneak peek, we're actually going to be doing commenting and collaboration, which I am personally spearheading. And that is slated for release probably at least, I don't know, a month or so out, maybe sooner. So this interface is going to change just a bit, but you'll still see live analytics. And live analytics is really our way of showing you that, yes, your app is alive. Somebody clicks on your public URL, scans the QR code, you can basically verify that it is operational and functional. The analytics below that, we're still working through what exactly to do there, but it is, for the most part, you're going to be able to both view your live analytics, and then we'll have our commenting and collaboration right in there. If you'd like to click directly on the URL from your Famous interface, you can do so. And what you're going to see is when I click on this, I come to a desktop version of the design, because if you noticed in my file originally, I had a desktop design in there. So what Famous does is if you have designs for multiple devices in your sketch file and then you publish that to a Famous file, we recognize that, and on the back end, sync up all of the different experiences, and then we'll serve the correct experience based on the device the user is clicking the link from. If you don't create a device or a device-specific design, we do have just a generic kind of 404 right now that would get displayed that says, hey, no design was created for this device. But alternatively, what you can do is you can set redirects. So imagine I didn't have a desktop design or a tablet design, and a user or somebody clicked on the link from a desktop or a tablet device. What I can do is come up here to my app settings, and I can define those redirects right here. So I can actually specify a different location to send desktop or tablet users to if I don't have a design for those devices. Does that make sense? Right on, cool. Of course, there's also tracking pixels. So if you have third-party analytics tool that you use, you can embed your tracking pixel right there, as well as meta tags. So like standard like meta tag format stuff works really well. What is the Facebook meta tag like? Open, I forget the name of it, but there's like the Facebook kind of meta tag formatting works perfectly in here. We're going to be refactoring a lot of this, as I mentioned before, and making it much more discoverable. But in the meantime, if you do decide to download the beta, this is where you can find all of these specific settings for your individual app project. Cool. I mean,
Sarah, you killed that.
well, thanks.
A lot of
Danielle.
talking, a lot of showing and pressing buttons.
Hey, that's what a product manager does.
I've been to a few of these, and I know that you guys normally open up for a Q&A. So I would love to invite both of you up from the background.
All right.
Bring you front and center. And let the questioning begin. Like this guy was taking notes, so he's gonna have a few.
Question in the back. Do I go with the slide?
Oh yeah, I'll go with it. Actually, you guys step here. Check out the speed. Obvious.
Of course. With regard to Stripe, a question. We've had a number of projects that are involved with Stripe at the 3 different levels, right? There's kind of looks like Stripe, sort of looks like Stripe, looks like you. Curious if that's like a roadmap type of thing of being able to customize to that level with Stripe and make those integrations. Clearly, the further you get in the customization, the more complex the API gets and how it interfaces with your designs. Is that something that might be possible later on?
Possibly later on. That'd be pretty far out in our roadmap.
Yeah.
And to be honest, ideally we would like to offer complete customization, so it does look entirely like your own branding. But that's probably at least a year out. There's a number of other foundational things that we're trying to get in there first. But it is something that's absolutely on our radar, because the ability to customize branding and the visual design of everything within your experience is really important. So yeah, not in the near future, but long-term roadmap.
Next question.
So with other prototyping tools, the common way for like screen transitions to work with like one element to another, if that element is named the same, then it tries to sort of interpret how that animation takes place. is that the same with Famous, or is it sort of like, I know that with yours it was more of like a intro and outro animation? Is there also something where it's like element A on one screen, element A on the other screen?
That is definitely something near and dear to my heart. I absolutely want that. We're developing a section of our product called God Mode Animation, where you will be able to do exactly that. Name things the same magic mode, which is going to tie the two together. We want to make sure it's totally customizable and done absolutely right instead of just throwing it in. So yeah, it's coming.
Cool. Thanks.
Hey, I was wondering, like, you guys had 3 different sections for mobile, tablet, and web. What was your thinking around, I guess, like responsive web experiences where you have to, change the width of the window and you're interacting with it on different levels?
So right out of the box, you'll notice you all have different phones, and they all pretty much look really good because our foundation for responsive, for mobile, we do a lot of the base work right, so it works really well out of the box. I don't know if you noticed, Sarah kind of circled it when she was demoing it, the responsive settings. That's all fine-tuned and customizable. It's really complex right now. We're trying to simplify it. I helped invent it, and it's hard for me to understand. It's even worse for desktop. But we will be adding breakpoints. So right now, you've got one design, and you have to adjust your responsive settings so the content can resize your screen. But that works fine for mobile because the devices are pretty similar. But with desktop, you've got so many different variations. With breakpoints, you'll be able to add those different setups, and the content can adjust within those breakpoints.
Yeah, and I think also, the idea of designing for a specific device is, not optimal. So, we are trying to figure out ways to make it such that you can create, like Mike said, set your breakpoints and then have one continuous design. But it's tricky because we also understand that there's instances where you may want to have different content displayed for different device types, right? So the experience that you put together for a desktop experience may actually be very different than the experience you put together for a mobile or a tablet, simply because it's a different user flow, or it's a different environment. So we're still trying to work through how to move away from the kind of device-specific responsive to a more like spectrum unified responsive. But until then, like I said, we're going to be implementing the breakpoints by device type. So that should help a little bit.
Yeah, so kind of picking up on that, when you either import a project from Sketch or out of the box, does it already organize those pages into device types automatically? And if you were to import something that, say, didn't have the mobile experience or tablet experience, does it guess that, or do you start with a blank slate and generic screen titles for each?
Yeah, so the way it's set up is that we detect, like, there's certain artboard rate sizes, like a range of artboard dimensions, and if an artboard range falls within that dimensions, we automatically define that as a mobile device, tablet device, desktop device. If you import a sketch file and it does not have a page for a specific device, we don't try to fill in the blanks. It just doesn't exist, right? So there is also, we throw an error notification in the event that you import a sketch file that has an unsupported artboard size, and you would be, basically instructed to, hey, these are our supported artboard sizes for these device types, please resize and then re-import. So we do try to provide some smart notifications for you, so you're not completely in the dark as to why something didn't import.
And you can assign, like, you can say one screen for tablet is the same screen on mobile, and you can kind of associate them with one another.
Well, you have to design it independently. I mean, you could copy and paste things, but it would have to be an independent, like, you would have to design it separately.
Mobile and tablet are really,
There.
they're similar.
Yeah.
You can get away with that. And Sarah showed you the redirect. If you just put in the redirect for mobile and tablet, the responsive will work pretty well.
For sure. Yeah, I just meant like labeling or assigning, ensuring that it understands that this is the mobile version of that desktop screen.
Yeah, right, you would still have to create a separate page for that in Sketch on import. Then, yeah, because it's our import process and our parsing process, that would then inform how to render each of those different devices within the Famous application. So we just recommend right now, design for each device.
Do you want to answer first or you had one first? Is that cool?
In short, in that one, you use duplicate the mobile, call it tablet.
You would need to change the artboard sizes because, we detect the artboard size and there are specific ranges for each device type.
I wonder if it would work if you paste the mobile artboard inside the tablet.
Yeah, you could and just resize the artboard.
That was a,
Okay, go.
actually I have a few, but first one is basically I have a NAS, so network attachment storage. Instead of using YouTube, can I take links from my NAS and upload the videos there?
We have not tested that, so I don't know.
You could use an iframe.
Oh, yeah, could I bring
It's
it?
just, well, NAS is just a storage unit,
So
but
it's not,
but it's a network, it's connected to the internet.
you could, if you do add video and link to that video on the storage device, it'll upload it to our cloud.
Say that again, sir?
If you do add video and load your video from that storage device, it should load it within Famous.
And then the other question was, what's the capability with like AR, VR?
We don't have that, it's on the roadmap long term. Yeah, so nothing yet, but it is definitely something we are looking to in the future, so.
It's very near.
Okay, my just free tip, I would think, just creating like a green screen on your end. That way I can just throw my stuff that I already designed
Oh, yeah,
on there, and then the green screen will create whatever environment the person's looking at, whether it's in a VR, or especially in an AR
Yeah.
environment.
yeah, for sure, yeah, we just need to like hook into some of that native technology.
Use the charm, last one.
Go for it.
Um,
Go change the charm.
and I wasn't sure, the question one person mentioned about the purchasing, was it the billing and shipping? Can we
That's
customizing it?
So right now we are kind of at mercy of Stripe's, their component.
So that was the same question he had asked.
Yeah, exactly. So in the future, we're just kind of like high level integration. As we progress and as we become a bit more mature of a product, we'll have some more bandwidth to open up more customization options within a lot of those, special integrations that we have.
Like, I wasn't sure it was the same question.
Yeah.
Thank you. And great presentation, by the way, especially with beta.
Oh,
Good job.
Just curious, once you import from Sketch into Famous Studio and you set up some of the animations the way that you want, are you able to, like, if there's an updated Sketch file that has a lot of the same screen and sync components, if you re-import, does it maintain the work that you've done in Studio?
wow. No.
No, the work you did with
Yeah,
Studio
the
version.
animation. So we are trying to figure out a better way to allow you to import only individual layers or individual cards.
Okay.
So you don't have to re-import your entire file. So with history, we used to have an option called sync, which would automatically sync between Sketch and Famous, but that just introduced a whole host of complexities that it really made it unrealistic to maintain. So we decided to eliminate sync and focus primarily on allowing you to import individual artboards and then eventually allowing you to import individual elements. Because really our ultimate goal is to enable you to do all of your creation directly in Famous. So this importing from Sketch is just a crutch while we get to the design parity with a professional design tool.
Okay.
Yeah. So eventually you won't need another tool. You'll still be able to use it if you want to, but it won't be necessary.
Any more questions? Oh, one more from the gentleman in the back.
Probably another roadmap question, so I apologize. First of all, it's a great presentation, very well done. This tool's pretty sweet. With regard to version control and things like that, constantly you're going to make design decisions that are impacting live products and things like that. I'm curious about interaction with, back-end coding and things like that that's interacts with front-end design and whatnot.
Are you asking about if you would be able to do like custom coding directly in the tool,
Just how this might interface with, some people doing work on back-end.
Yeah. Do you want to take that one? No? Okay. So right now everything is very much internal to Famous. Eventually, we're looking at ways to, essentially we're looking at ways to develop an API that would then open up a lot more opportunity for customization and integration with other backends or other tools that people use. Right now, basically what you see is what you get with Famous. There's not any custom coding capabilities or any way to connect it directly with an external backend. So again, a roadmap question, I would say within the next year, we'll definitely, we'll have some kind of API available, but I don't know exactly how that's going to manifest yet and what will be available first.
We've actually got one last question at this end.
Yeah, I'm from New York, I can talk loud.
Nice.
So, real quick, because I noticed that there was an option to like open up a panel that showed like HTML and all that. What's that for then?
That's just for Famous people. So that's really an internal tool right now. And we are, Mike mentioned earlier, this concept of like God mode. And we're developing ways to enable more advanced design capabilities. So, eventually that may turn into one of our God mode modules, and that would essentially enable you to do a lot more customization within not just HTML, but also other areas of the code. So that's another way we're going to enable you to kind of code directly inside of Famous is through one of these like God mode modules that would allow you to jump in there, manipulate stuff to add right to your project. So again, roadmap, not near future, but probably year plus out.
But for right now, what does that tool do? What's that panel?
I really don't know if you
That
can
was
use
put
that
there
now.
because the engineers got sick of me asking them to do things. And I can go in there, they give me a script that I want to include in the page, I do that, and I just pop it in there. And it loads.
So one of us can take your job. Thank you.
Never.
Appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much, Sarah and Mike. You guys are shredding, and I'm gonna hand this back over to Chris.
Let's give them a round. So hope you guys enjoyed the presentation. Obviously, as I mentioned at the beginning, it is a free beta currently, so you should definitely download it when you go home. The next Spear in UX will be on the 10th of July, and it'll be another sort of interactive presentation where you can interact with a product that we've been working on at Neuron since January of 2017. So we hope you enjoy that one. And to any of our new members, we're very appreciative of you all and happy to announce that Spear in UX is now 700 plus people. So thank you for coming out tonight.